Welcome back to another video from Insectech's Android Application Penetration Testing course. In this video, we're going to see security decisions via untrusted inputs. I'll give you a quick example of what kind of vulnerabilities fall under this category. Let's take an application which has two activities, activity A and B, and they're communicating using IPC, inter-process communication, with the use of intents. So what I mean to say is application A should invoke activity B, activity A should invoke activity B using an intent, but no other input should be able to trigger activity B. But what if a malicious third-party application is able to trigger activity B? That's a problem, and this is what exactly an example of security decisions via untrusted inputs. So activity B is sensitive and it is getting triggered by third-party applications without properly validating the input. So let's see a quick demo of how it looks like. For this, I need to have vulnerable application 1, which is challenge 1. Quickly launch it. If you see this is activity 1. So if the input is properly formed from this particular activity 1, it will actually launch activity 2. But if your input is not properly given, it won't be able to launch activity 2. So let me first give the proper input, which is password. Now if everything is correct, your activity A is able to trigger activity B and it is getting loaded. Right, now what if a third-party application is able to trigger this particular second activity, which is activity B, without even providing this password B? That's a problem, right? So let's quickly see how to do that. First, I'm just finding out all the names of the activities using Manifest Explorer. We can use tools like APK tool as well, but just to save time, I'm going to use Manifest Explorer. And in this case, challenge 1 is the application that we are looking at. Click view, and if you observe this, it has this is one activity where you can see which says com.ist.challenge1.main activity. This is the name of this particular activity. And the second activity is this one, com.ist.challenge1.welcome, and obviously it is exported. So since it is exported, we can actually trigger this particular activity from any other source. So to do that, let's first and remember this is the activity's name. This is the name of this particular activity. We need that to launch the second activity, right? So let me quickly open up a shell or terminal and get a shell on the device, and I'm going to use a tool called AM space start. AM stands for activity manager. AM start -n, which stands for name. Let's give the name of this particular activity, com.ist.challenge1 welcome. Now if you see this application, it is actually launching this private area without even clicking this submit button. We haven't entered anything, rather we are directly trying to invoke this particular second activity from your first activity. So this is what is known as security decisions via untrusted inputs. This is a classic example of this particular category. So if your application is accepting inputs from other sources rather than the trusted sources, then that is a problem, and this is what exactly we have seen here, right? So that's all I have in mind for this video. Before closing the video, to fix this problem, one way is you can actually set this particular exported value to false. But if you want to export it, you can actually set some kind of permissions to this particular activity, so that only the sources which have proper authorization to access this particular activity B will be able to trigger it, right? Other activities won't be able to trigger. So just in case if you want to export it, You can set up permissions so that only certain inputs will be able to trigger this. If you don't want to export, rather make it false. That is the permanent fix, right? So that's all I have in mind for this video. Thanks for watching it.